Hi everyone. Thank you for joining Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Thank you for tuning in to my Stampin Sunday. Stop in, say hi, let me know where you're from. We had an absolutely gorgeous weekend this weekend, so that was nice. No rain, that was always a good thing. So today what I'm going to be using is the Woven Threads Suite. So let me just put my glasses on here and get started. So for the suite that I'm using today, it can be found on page 13 of the new catalog. Hi Kay, hi Susan. This is the stamp set, Woven Heirlooms. Heirloom, some say heirloom, heirloom. Doesn't matter what you call it, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera and show you what I've been working on. So let's get started. Okay, one moment. There we go. Okay. Hi, Gail. Hi, Janine. Okay, so again, rosewardStampersdelight.com. There is my host code. It looks a little blurry to me, but I think it might be my glasses. Maybe they needed to be cleaned. Anyway, you can always find it on Stampersdelight.com. Let me just move this out of the way. And I'm seeing it as a little blurry. I'm not sure why. Hopefully you can see it okay. So let me bring in the book first, and I marked everything so I don't have to flip through the pages. So this is on page 13. It's the Woven Thread Suite. It's the stamp set, the dies and framelits, or dies in embossing folder rather, and the DSP, plus some sequins and some really nice ribbon. And a lot of things you can do with that. I'm going to be also using on page 40 and 41, you're going to see one of the cards that I'm going to be using is Garden Lane Suite. Okay, so I'm going to be using that too. Okay, and we'll just move this out of the way so I can show you some of the products. Okay, so here is the stamp set, and then we have the dies. The dies, one is an oval, and then if you flip it around, we also have a rectangle. Now when you cut those, after you cut those out, you can then emboss them with the two dies, or the two embossing folders. Let me just see if I can grab a piece of paper here so you can see it better. This is the oval one, and I'll explain how I did those also. So there's the oval. And then here is the rectangle one. These are beautiful. I had a lot of fun playing with this set. So those are the two embossing folders, and they are the thicker ones. So let's move that over here. The designer series paper, which of course you'll see there's a lot of pieces that I've already used, so they're all cut up, but I showed those on a previous video. Thank you. Yes, definitely share my video. So here's all the pretty designer series paper. And of course it's two-sided. Move that out of the way for a second. Okay, so let's get started here. I think the sun just made me a little woozy today. I'm not complaining though. Okay, so let me bring in the cards and show you what I've done. So this is a little simple stamping that I did. And this is, oh, here, let's show you. The sequins that come in the suite. Iridescent sequins. They're really pretty. And the ribbon I love because I want to show you something with the ribbon. The ribbon looks like this, okay? But you can pull that little piece out right here and just undo it. And then you can have like little tassels. And then you can use this fine little piece, which you'll see I did on one of the cards. Okay, so this card, I was one of the lucky ones. I got the Purple Posy ink pad without a problem. Okay, so this is a simple stamped card. It's got the Designer Series back DSP on the back here, and then I just stamped a background on white. And then the inside. So what I did, and I'll show you real quick before I show you the others. To do that, I'm just going to grab my Purple Posy, and I just took, this is just a piece of cardstock. I'm going to show you how I did it. I just took the long background, inked it up a little bit, stamped all over. You see, I didn't re-ink it, just using the Purple Posy. You can do this with any color. And you can also, you'll see another one where I did different colors. And then maybe this one. It's just making a little background. And this is all the same color. I didn't switch colors. And you can make your own background. So that was how I did this one. I just stamped it all over. The next one that I did, I stamped the same way in Crumb Cake and the Seaside Spray using the designer, over the Designer Series paper. So I took this, let me get that out of the way before I get my cardstock in it. So I took this Designer Series paper and then I just went over it with Crumb Cake and the Seaside Spray and made another background. I see some people saying it's blurry. And it looked blurry to me too. I'm not sure why. Must be the internet. I will have still shots. Let me just try one thing here. Let's see if this does anything. I think it's my lighting. Well, let's shut the lights off and see what happens. Is that better? I'll take off these lights. Is that any better? Oh, maybe that is. All right, let me just flip this. I'm not sure what this is going to do. How's that? No, it's not raining. It's actually very sunny here. Okay, so that's how I did. Well, we're just going to keep going. I will have still shots out there. I'm sorry that it's blurry, so it must be the internet. Okay, so this one, that's how I did this one. I'll bring it up close so you can see it. And there's the ribbon that I used, and there's that thin piece that I just took off. Okay. And then in this one, I just stamped right inside the card. Okay, Susan, you're okay? So it must be just some of the internets. But I'll leave the lights off just in case. So that was the next one I did. Then I used the dies and the embossing folders, and I did this one. This is the one that I put up already. Yeah, I like the tassel at the bottom too. And again, the Designer Series paper, our little doodads. And the nice thing about this, when you cut this out, you always have that inside piece that you can use for another card. Okay, and there's that little thin piece again that I used. I just tied a bow. And then that was a thinking of you. Yeah, I guess, sorry, Brenda, some people are saying it's clear and some people are saying it's blurry, so it could be the internet. The next one I want to show you is this one right here. And this one, I took the Designer Series paper and then I used our embossing paste and the, let me just grab that page so I can show you. the embossing paste on page 181 and the decorative masks, because I thought that decorative mask right here looked like that print on the DSP. Okay, and then I just used some of our ribbon there, the new ribbon, and I don't have that in front of me. No, I'll put exactly what it is, the name of it. It's the new lace ribbon. Okay, so Kathy said she was using the Chrome browser and she switched to Edge and it looks very good. So Chrome browser must be having a problem. So if you're on Chrome, that's why it's showing blurry. Okay, hopefully you can still get the gist of it. And then these are our epoxy doodads, and then I colored those with the blends. Okay, and there's that card. Then I used the rectangle and I made a shaker card. And then, of course, some of our other sequins. So I put the sequins in there, made the shaker card. And there again, if you can see it, I made my own background paper, just stamping different stamps on there. And I did the same thing inside. You see, I did different colors and made my own background. Now, the ones I'm going to be doing tonight are easel cards. So I have to flip the camera a couple different ways to show you. The first easel card, I'm going to bring it in. This is a picture of me and my sister when she was 7 and I was 4. And this is an easel card that stands up, but it also lays flat so you can mail it. I'm just going to flip the camera. Hi. So you can see what that easel card looks like this way. Okay, so I will be stamping that, a different one, but I will show you how to make the easel card. The other easel card that I'm going to show you is a twist card. So here's what it would look like, okay, if it's laying flat, but it's going to have a little twist to it. So it's going to look like this. Again, I'm going to flip the camera so you can see the easel card with a twist. I'm trying to get it in the camera right. And this is where I used the other stamp set, the Verdant Garden and designer paper. I'm going to show you both of those tonight. When I put them up to the camera, they're not blurry. Oh, it just cleared up. That's weird. Okay, let me just say, yeah. It looks like when it's down here, it looks a little clearer now. Okay, so those are 2 easel cards that I'm going to be showing you. And I have the dimensions here. And we're going to be doing it a little bit different, but let me show you. Let me bring these in. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is, whoop, let me grab that. That fell. Okay, so to use the dies and the embossing folders. Okay, you're going to we're going to use the rectangle one, and you're going to run it through the Big Shot, just like this. Now this pops out, so you can use that as your insert piece, which is exactly what I did with that piece back there. All right, so when you do that, it looks like this. And the oval one, of course, would be oval. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that piece, whether it's the oval one or the rectangle, you're going to put it in your embossing folder with the Stampin' Up! Image up, facing you. You're going to set that right on top of that indentation. Okay? And you're going to close it. And you can use a little washi tape or a little Post-it note to keep it right there where you want it. You're going to run it through the Big Shot. Now remember, to emboss it, if you have the new embossing folder, you want to get that new the new piece which I didn't bring over here. No, I didn't. Okay, it's like a little it's a shim. It's actually the same as the plastic here, but it's thicker. I have the old style platform, so I don't really need it. But you run that through the big shot, and it's going to come out like this. And I know you can't see the detail in that because it's not that clear, but that's how you make the frames. Okay, so let's get started. And the first one I'm going to bring in is the long one, like I did for me and my sister. Okay, so this is the longer version. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 11. 4 1/4 by 11. And you can score it right down the middle. I'm not going to score it. I'm just going to use my bone folder. And I'm just going to give it a real good crease here. And then I'm going to take that one flap, and I'm going to flip it back here, and then crease it again. If you use the paper trimmer with the scoring blade, it'll give it a real good score. Okay, so that looks like one of the Z-fold cards, right? Okay. So now you want this. I'm going to score it this way too, because what you want is you want it to set like this. See how I have it setting? Okay. Then you're going to take another piece of cardstock, and you're going to do the same size as you would here. You're going to use a 4 1/4, okay, but by 5 1/2. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you're going to glue that right down on this part, the one that's standing up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some snail on that. And you can use snail, your tear and tape, whatever adhesive you want, your Tombow. You're just going to glue half of that. So you see how I only glued half? So that it stands up to make your easel. And it will stand up better when I'm done. Then I took a piece of Designer Series paper, and you can see I'm doing it the same way. The Designer Series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to get glued down to the whole front here, this piece that I just added. So I'm going to go ahead and snail that down. I'm going to lay that right on top. Okay, just like that. And again, it's going to stand up when I'm done. Now I've already done the oval frame ahead of time, and that's going to go right in the middle. And then from one of the earlier ones I did, that piece that pops out in the middle of the framelit dies, we call them dies now. So when you run the oval through, if this was white, you'd have this piece pop out in the middle. So I kept that. And I'm going to use that for the middle piece. And I'm going to bring in my terracotta tile. And I'm going to use the Wishing You a Lovely Day. Wishing you a day of love and joy. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right in there. Okay, we'll just put this over here for a minute. And this is going to go right here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay this down. I want this to pop up a little bit, so I'm going to use dimensionals on the back side. You can also, if it was the rectangle one, I use the long pieces of dimensionals. But for this one, I'm just going to pop a few of those on here. Take your pick tool. And while I'm doing this, I do want to give a shout out to my son out in California. His birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Ryan. Can't believe you're going to be 31 and I'm still 29. I don't know how that happens, but it did. So you have a great birthday out in California. Just going to pop those out, or pull those off rather. And I'm just going to lay that right in the middle of my card. So it does stand up. Then this piece, I'm going to lay flat inside there. So that's going to go right in the middle there. Pull that out a second. So again, I'm going to snail that down. These are so easy to make and they're so much fun. And I'm just going to lay that right in the middle there. So there is the top front of it. Then what I did, and everybody's got these. We all have pieces left over. This piece right here, I believe is 1.5. Let's see. This one is, yeah, 1.5 by 4. And this was just a piece left over. I didn't even have to cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and snail that and put that right at the bottom here. That would hold it a little bit. See, it's standing up. Did that pretty good. It matches almost. But these are nice for if somebody wants to set them on a desk or something like that. So for this one, I'm going to put wishing you a day of love and joy, and then thinking of you right in the middle here. So somebody could put that on their desk and they would think of you every time they see it. Now, to keep this, or to keep the card up better, I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals also. This way it'll raise it a little bit. I just got my hand in the glue, in the ink. Let's see, do I have my, let me just get this off my fingers, otherwise I'll be putting it all over my card. There we go. Okay. So let's take those off. And I'm just going to put this, whoop, that one didn't go, that one was over a little too far, so I can just smoosh that right in there. And I'm just going to put this right here. So that will hold it in place, just like that. There you go. That's how easy it was. And I'll give you a better view of that when I flip the camera. And then if you want to, you can add some doodads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again with the terracotta tile. I'm going to lay it flat for a second. I'm going to put a couple here. I tend to put 3 on this and maybe 1 over here. And I have an easel card. That's how easy it is to make the easel cards. Isn't that cute? Excuse me. And I will show it to you when I flip the camera. So that is the one, the long version. Now I'm going to do one with a twist. And again, for this one, I'm using the other stamp set because I thought this was a nice wedding card for somebody or an anniversary card. This one, bring in all my pieces that I've already done. And these dimensions are a little bit different. Okay, so for this one, the base card is going to be 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. And I always like to check to make sure that I'm giving you the right dimensions. Yes, 4 1/4, and then this is 8 1/2. And then if you notice, it's scored right in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that down. Then what I need to do, and hopefully I have my, oh, it's right here. I need my paper trimmer because I do need the scoring blade for this. What I'm going to do for this is one side of it has to be scored diagonally. I know you probably can't see that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in here. And I'm going to line it up, edge to edge. I like to put my scoring blade right in the middle when I'm doing this. And I'm just going to score that. Give it a real good score. Okay. That worked out okay. And then there's a score line there. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish that really well. And I might have, okay. Did I get it the right way? Yeah. Okay. Put it this way too. Okay. So then I'm going to take another piece of the mint macaron, and the mint macaron piece that's going to go right over here. It's going to be glued right up here. That's 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, but you're only going to glue it right here, and you're going to lay that right up there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. It's only the second time I did this card, so that's why I'm and I'm going to go ahead and put snail on that and hope that I do it right. Okay, and I'm going to line that right up to that. Okay, so that's going to make it twist. All right. Then I have a piece of the designer series paper to that Verdant Garden, and that is 4 by 4. So I have a little edge showing, and you can use either side. I happen to like the other side better, so that's the side I'm going to use. And I'm just going to layer that right on top here. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my little frame that I already did, and my piece of white, which is buried already here somewhere. So let me grab another piece. And for this, if you don't have the inside piece, you can always just cut a piece. Okay, so this one is too big, but I'm going to cut that. Okay, so let me cut that real quick. Let's see, do 3. If I had cut that out, I could have used that inside piece, but I'm just going to trim this piece up a little bit. Just use that. I had a piece here. I don't know where it went. Don't I do that every time? Just take a little piece off there. There we go. All right, so this little white piece is, let's see what size this is. So it's 4 by 3, and that's going to go right there. So I'm going to stamp that with the stamp and the mint macaron. And that's going to be right here. So again, I'm making another wedding card or anniversary card. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that in here. Here's to a wonderful couple. Okay, move that out of the way. So then I'm going to layer that. So that's going to go right there, and this is going to go right over it. So I'm going to snail that down flat. Right there. And again, I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, but this time I'm going to use the strips. Because it's straight, you can use the other dimensionals if you want, but I like to use the strips when it's straight like that. So, and I'll just tear a piece off here, and you only really have to do 2 sides of it. Let me just snip this. Okay, come on. Off. Pull that off. And I'm going to put that right over top of it. So it does pop up a little bit. Now, in order to get it to set the right way, I'm going to take a piece of Again, another piece of designer series paper that was left over. So this piece is larger than that one, but it doesn't really matter how. You just use your scraps. This one's a little wider, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and use up that. I'm going to put that right here. And then I have this little piece of white that I'm going to use the saying for the bottom of it, and all the happiness you'll share together. So this could be anniversary too. Move that out of the way. I'm going to stamp that right there. I should be using my mat, but it's buried. And now to make it stand up sideways, I'm just going to angle this a little bit, just like that. So that what happens is it holds it in place this way. And you'll see it in a second. So again, I'm going to get my dimensionals. I'm going to put 3 of them on there. And just so I can see where I want it, I'm just going to set it up. And I'm just going to angle this. So I'm going to put it right about here. Press that down. And again, I'm going to burnish this even more because you really want it to stand up really well. Now it's standing up. So it's an easel card with a twist. I've already done a little bow, if I didn't lose that too. Oh, there it is, in the mint macaron. And because I thought this looked like a frame, I thought I'd put that little ribbon right there. And for that, I'm going to use my glue dots. So I'm just going to put one right here, maybe 3 of them. These are the extras that I had from Paper Pumpkin. I'm just going to put 3 across the top there. Yes, Garden Lane and Verdant Garden. That's the suite. Thank you, Kathy. I didn't write it down. I just put the page number down. I'm going to put that right there. Move that over a little bit because it's not quite in the middle where I want it. Just move that a little bit. And you can always trim the bow, but I think he's good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of our sequins. And these are the iridescent ones, because I don't want the real bright ones. So I'm going to grab these, and I'm going to put some of these sequins around here. And I will put all the dimensions on either later today or tomorrow. And it'll also be on my blog at Stampersdelight.com. I don't want that flower. I just want this regular sequence here. I'm going to stand that up for a second. And, oop, he doesn't have any glue on him, so let me grab another one. They're all over. There we go. Here's a couple more. Can never have enough sparkles, sequins. And I'm just going to put a couple more down here. Get that out of there. And there you have it. He's standing up. You've never seen the twist. You like that, huh? I love it. So there, that's the same card. Usually I change it up a little bit, but I like this one so much. I decided to keep it the same way. Let me move those out of the way. So those are the, and again, it's an easel card with a twist. And it stays right up. So let me just flip the camera back. Hi. And I will show you that again, because now you can see it up close and personal. And again, you can just lay that down to put it in the envelope. That was the easel card with a twist. This is the long easel card that I did. My favorite, and I'm going to put this on my desk. Those dimensional things are all over the place. Of me and my sister when we were little. And then the shaker card. Thank you, Megan. And this one, I love this with the embossing paste. Gives it such a nice look, doesn't it? This suite is so nice. I love the framelits or the dies with the matching embossing folders. I think they're great. But we think everything is great, don't we? Here's the one that I did stamped over the designer series paper. So you can stamp right on your designer series paper. Don't forget that. And of course the tassels on the bottom. And that little thin ribbon at the top. And then the one with the purple posy. My simple stamping card. Hi, Robin. Hi, Ellen. So those were the cards I did today for the Woven Thread Suite. I hope you enjoyed them. I know this was kind of a quick video. It's been a long weekend, a nice weekend, but a long one. Let me just bring in some of these. Let me just show you. This is what I meant. So see, I cut these out, and then I had all these pieces left, and they're the perfect size for using for something else. So you kind of get two pieces for the price of one. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great remaining Sunday. Have a great week. I hope to be back on Friday morning. I may have to alter my schedule a little bit because getting ready for vacation, I have quite a few things going on, but I will let you know. I will try to be back on Friday morning at 7 o'clock. I will send a Facebook message if I'm not going to make it. That will, if I get on Facebook Friday morning. That'll be my last video for a couple of weeks because I do have to get ready for our vacation, and I've got swaps to make. And so, if you need anything while I'm on vacation, don't forget Stampersdelight.com. I hope you enjoyed everything. Again, have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye. Happy stamping.